On day 1, I spawned in as a baby werewolf. In front of me was my older brother and the rest of our werewolf pack.
Little brother, you made it. Welcome to your new home.
Just then, lightning struck, and an army of vampires suddenly appeared.
For centuries, the vampires and werewolves have fought and fought, but I finally found the upper hand.
The vampire then casted a spell. Our once full moon was reduced all the way down to a crescent. This sent out a curse upon all of us werewolves. Oh no, I feel so weird.
Ha ha ha! Once you werewolves are gone, us vampires will rule the night. Attack!
Vampires then started to rush in and fight us werewolves. Because of the curse, we were losing.
Brother, we must run now.
I did as instructed, and together, my brother and I escaped with the vampires right on our tail. On day 2, I was running side by side with my brother. The vampires then used an ability that allowed them to turn into deadly bats. Oh no, we reached a graveyard and now had nowhere to go.
Stay behind me.
The bats swarmed in, and my brother started to attack. He used incredible abilities and slashed most down with ease. I could tell, though, he was getting tired, and more of them just kept coming in. One of the last bats flew straight down and bit my brother.
Ah!
He quickly took him down, but I could tell he was weak.
Fozo, listen to me. These vampires, they've always wanted our downfall. They're extremely powerful and nearly impossible to destroy.
Why are you telling me this?
Because I'm not going to make it. If anyone can stop them and put an end to this curse, it's you, Fozo. I love you, brother.
Just then, my older brother died in front of me. No! A loud rumbling started to fill the area. I looked up and saw a large rock falling down from the sky. What is going on here? On day 3, I headed out to follow the falling rock. I wonder what that thing was. Just then, the sun started to creep out from the nearby mountains. Its light directly hit my fur. Ah! Because of this, I felt so weak. Sunlight weakens me? No matter. I have to keep going. I finally reached the site, and everything looked destroyed. At the center of it was a man picking up a weird-looking fragment.
Now this is interesting.
All of a sudden, a group of monster hunters emerged from the forest.
Ironbeard, is it? Local blacksmith. If you know what's good for you, you give us whatever you just found there.
Just leave me alone.
The monster hunters didn't listen and rushed in to attack. I knew I couldn't just sit back and do nothing. Hey, leave him alone!
A werewolf? Kill him!
Even though I was weakened by the sunlight, my deadly claws were still putting up a fight. Their swords hurt a lot, but I wasn't going to quit now. My brother didn't, so I can't either. I hit one of them one last time, which made them run away scared.
We'll be back!
With the beam of light clashing against my skin, I couldn't help but feel weaker and weaker. Oh no, I'm gonna pass out. On day 4, I awoke inside of a strange forge. How did I get here? That's when I noticed the strange fragment lying on a table. It then began to glow. I slowly walked towards it because of my urge and picked it up. Something strange began to happen to me. I ran out of the forge and let out a loud howl. Because of this, the moon upgraded and became fuller. I gained 5 more hearts and was now an adult-sized werewolf. From the looks of things, my curse seemed to have gotten weaker. Whoa, what just happened?
Oh my, that explains everything.
You saved me?
Yeah, I was just returning the favor, but now everything is starting to connect. Follow me.
I followed the blacksmith over to the edge of his mountain.
Last night, I watched as the moon suddenly transformed. From it fell down 5 different moon fragments, heading straight down to the ground. And it seems like each one you collect makes you grow stronger.
And the curse becomes weaker. So, if I find all 5, I can get rid of this curse and take down the vampires? Sweet. Anything to save my species.
After you help me and save my life, I'd be happy to help you on your journey. The name's Ironbeard.
Nice to meet you. You can call me Fozo. Just then, something strange began to happen. Since I was now an adult, I had a heightened sense of smell, and it was going crazy. Where is that coming from?
Help! Help! Help me!
Whoa, my nose can do that? I better go and save him. On day 5, I ran through the forest, following my nose. I was then met with a loud, obnoxious skull.
Hey, who you calling loud, dude?
Okay, calm down. What happened?
I was just minding my own business, enjoying a midnight stroll, and saw this cool fallen star. Then, out of nowhere, a swarm of bats flew in, and now, look at me! All of my body bones are missing!
Wait a minute. That wasn't a falling star. That was a moon fragment. Do you think you can show me where it went?
Yeah, I can show you, but first, I need my body, genius!
Okay. You don't have to yell. Don't worry. I will find them for you. Now, where did those bats fly off towards? On day 6, I used my trusty nose and went throughout the forest in search of the crazy skeleton's bones. I was able to find both of his legs caught up in a tree, an arm behind a rock, and his other arm on a nearby mountain. This nose is great. Okay, Fozo. Now, just for his body. But where can I find that? Just then, I spotted a small camp inside of a cave entrance. Lying inside of it, there it is. His body. I made my way over carefully until I heard the sound of wings flapping nearby. Is that? Oh no. A vampire bat appeared behind one of the tents.
A werewolf? You shall die in the name of Veenstalker!
The bat flew in and started to attack. I used my slash on it every chance I could. It was a long and challenging fight, but eventually I was able to take it down. Jeez, one of the vampires are this strong? I don't even want to know how strong Veenstalker is. After my victory, I went over and picked up the skeleton's ribcage. All right, buddy, it's time to get your body back. On day 7, I arrived back at the blacksmith where the skeleton head was waiting for me.
Well, it's about time!
I can't believe you made me pick this thing up.
I'm sorry, but do you think you can put his body back together with all of this? The blacksmith nodded and went to work. While he was operating on the skeleton, I decided I needed a place to call my own. I went out and used my fierce werewolf claws to mine wood and stone for myself. With this, I was able to make myself a set of stone tools. From there, I went to work and got enough materials to make myself a nice werewolf-themed den. Sweet! This place is perfect. Just as I finished building, the blinding sun came out again. It hurts so much.
Looks like the sun makes you weak, huh? Give me some time, Fozo. I may have a solution for that.
Sounds good. As I finished my sentence, the new and improved skeleton walked up to me.
Hey, I feel fantastic! You think a blacksmith could do better than just patching me up with some moss? Well, I guess this works. Thanks for your help, werewolf. The name's Marvin.
Well, it's nice to officially meet you, Marvin. So, you said you can help and show me where the moon fragment went?
The shooting star? Of course! I'll take you right to it.
On day 8, Marvin and I ventured out until we arrived at a large junkyard outpost. Who could own something like this?
Behold, the civilization of the were-rats! Who dares enter?
Were-rats?
Yeah, good luck, man. I'm out of here.
Gee, thanks for the backup.
A werewolf, huh? Oh, Mr. Mats will want to speak to you.
The rat escorted me deep inside of their junkyard until we reached a main room. Sitting on a trashy throne was a rat larger than the rest.
Now what brings someone like you here to my kingdom, pal?
I didn't mean to disturb you guys. I'm just looking for a moon fragment and...
A moon fragment? This guy must be crazy or something. Are you talking about our sacred moon cheese?
Wait, what? Mr. Motz brought me over to a display room, and laying there in the center was the next moon fragment. Look, sir, I need it.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. This piece of cheese is our rat's most prized possession. You really think I'm just gonna give it away? You gotta earn it, pal.
And how can I do that?
Us were-rats are entertainers. If you can beat me in our highest known tournament, the Maze Run, then you can, take our moon cheese.
Okay, Mr. Motz, you are on. On days 9 to 10, I was escorted over to a large labyrinth of sorts. Both Mr. Motz and I were placed on opposite sides of it, and a loud voice spoke.
Welcome to the Maze Run! Both competitors are placed on either side of the maze, and the first one to reach to the center, which holds our precious moon cheese, wins!
Okay, sounds easy enough.
This dumb fella's going down.
The game begun, and both Mr. Motz and I ran through the maze. I used my nose to my advantage and tried my best to sniff out the moon fragment until I met a patch of lava. On the other side of it was the entryway to the main room that held the moon fragment. How am I supposed to cross this? I thought fast and used the cobblestone I acquired earlier and placed them as I jumped across the lava. I placed the final one and made it to the final room first. I did it. Mr. Motz then entered right after me.
No, there is no way you beat me. Nobody beats Mr. Motz.
Well, I did, so a deal is a deal.
No way, pal. You had to have cheated, and cheaters will pay the price.
On days 11 to 12, Mr. Motz rushed in at me and began to attack. Hey, that's not fair. He didn't listen though and kept attacking. He had a powerful bite attack that did lots of damage to me. And are those fleas? Gross. I did my best and fought back against him using my slashes, but his bites were really strong.
Nobody messes with Mr. Motz and gets away with it.
Just then, more rats emerged in and started to attack me as well. With all of them and Mr. Motz combined, I knew that I was done for. That's when I had an idea and looked at the moon fragment. Okay, here goes nothing.
Hey, stop that guy! He's going after the cheese!
I managed to pick it up, which caused a powerful surge of energy to fill within me. I let out a strong, powerful howl again, and it made the moon fuller. I gained 5 more hearts, my curse got weaker, and I now had a cool fighting ability. Bring it! I was able to take the were-rats down now with ease.
No!
Mr. Motz charged in again. Now with my new bite, he didn't stand a chance against me.
It's so unfair!
Mr. Motz and his people were down for the count. If only you guys stuck to your word. On days 13 to 14, I was making my way back home until I heard a loud howl crying out. Who is that? I followed the noise until I saw a small werewolf prison being ran by none other than Veenstalker.
Yes, rise. Rise!
I looked over and saw a very weak, cursed werewolf in one of the cages. Purple essence then began to take over his body, and he was then transformed into a vampire? What?
Perfect. The curse. It worked. Those werewolves will be no more soon enough.
Wait, so when the curse gets fulfilled on us, we don't die, but we get transformed into them? That is how he's gonna get stronger. His army will.
Yes, we shall be powerful!
Listen closely. My plan is working. All you have to do, my fellow bats, is find that rogue werewolf.
Oh no, he's talking about me. I watched as he commanded a small group of bats to go search a nearby area.
There is a laboratory close by. I have reason to believe there has been activity there from a moon fragment. Find it. Do not let that rogue werewolf get its paws on it.
The vampires all flew out and left. A laboratory? Where could I find that? On days 15 to 16, I arrived back to base.
Oh, there you are. You're still alive.
Yeah, thanks for the backup, by the way.
Fozo! Whoa! You've gotten stronger again! You found another one?
Yes, I did. He then threw me over a cloak of some sorts. What is this?
Put it on. It should help you with your sun problem.
I did as he said, and now felt so much better. Whoa, thanks. I then looked over at Marvin and knew that he needed a place to call his home. I went out and got the necessary materials to do just that for him. I made sure to make it themed around a skeleton and even added bone blocks just for him. There you go, Marvin. I hope you like it.
Whoa, a home? Thanks, man. This means a lot.
Marvin ran inside, excited. Now I need to find that laboratory.
Did you say laboratory? I know of one nearby, but it's not friendly, Fozo.
At this point, I don't think I have a choice. Can you help and point me in the right direction? On days 17 to 18, I followed the blacksmith's instructions and found an evil-looking lab. Yeah, I think this is the place. I heard wings flattering around and quickly was able to spot some bats. Oh no, they found it. After a second glance, I realized they weren't alone. They were fighting minions? What in the world?
Yes, my minions! Attack these intruders and show them no one can mess with the world's #1 villain!
I watched as the minions worked together and took down bats one by one. I have to help. I rushed in and started to attack the bats, which caught their leader by surprise.
What the?
After a bit of back and forth, I was able to fully take them down with the minions' help. Ha! Talk about teamwork.
What?
One small minion charged in and started to attack me with a banana. Hey, cut it out.
Minions, stop! Why did you help us, Beast?
Because those vampires are pure evil.
Yes, they came here trying to find the moon fragment that I had.
Wait, did you say had?
Correct! I wanted to use it to take the moon, but now all I care about is taking down this stupid scientist that stole the fragment from me.
Look, if I can help you find the scientist, can I keep the moon fragment?
I guess so. But be warned, werewolf. It will be hard because the scientist that took it from me was none other than Dr. Frankenstein himself.
On days 19 to 20, we arrived at a large, evil mansion. Lightning was being shot all around it. What is going on?
We must hurry!
The three of us made it to the main entrance, but it was locked. Great, now what?
Banana!
The minion pulled out a banana launcher and burst through the front. Okay, we stormed in, only to see a main experiment room with a hole destroyed through a wall. There he was, Dr. Frankenstein.
I know what you're after. My moon fragment. Well, I used it already for something incredible. I created life.
Oh no, what did you do?
Now I will be known as the greatest villain alive.
I don't think so. That takes care of him. Good luck, werewolf. You want to find that moon fragment, you're going to have to find that monster.
Gru and his minion both left. Hey, wait! Come on. I looked out of the hole, and I knew that I needed to follow the trail. On days 21 to 25, I was following the trail throughout the nearby forest until I found a village that was under attack. Is this the monster's doing? I looked past the villager, only to see a large green beast with the moon fragment attached to its head.
Destroy!
Oh no, he was roaming around, destroying homes and attacking the innocent villagers as he wished.
Someone get this stupid green freak out of here!
I better go help. I ran in and slashed at the monster. Stop what you're doing. Frankenstein's monster, though, didn't listen and began to rush at me. Oh no, he hit me, and his brute strength by itself hurt a lot. I tried my best to slash through and even bite at him, but soon realized that he wasn't taking any damage because he was already dead. Oh no! I was doing my best trying to knock him back, but at the end of the day, I knew that this was a losing fight. That is, when I saw a lightning storm going off on a mountaintop nearby. Wait a minute, lightning! I had an idea and started to run off towards the mountain, while Frankenstein's monster was closely behind, chasing after me. On days 26 to 29, I was running with the undead monster right behind me.
Get back here!
We kept on running until we were on the top of a mountain. Lightning was still shooting around. I hope this works. I hit him one last time, right into a lightning bolt. Yes! This caused his defeat immediately, and from it dropped the third moon fragment. I went over and picked it up. This caused the storm to clear and the moon to change again. My curse was weaker. I grew larger and I gained 5 more hearts. I noticed that now I had a special ability that allowed me to throw moon rocks. Sweet. On days 30 to 32, I made it back to base and even brought the villagers back with me.
Oh, nice. More friends.
I made sure to get enough materials to build them up some nice homes to stay in. After I finished that, I also made them a farm that was much better than the ones they had before. I hope you guys like it.
Thank you, you hideous, disgusting beast, you. We will help farm for your base. Just like don't eat us or whatever.
Yeah, I won't. As I was finishing up with them, I heard someone scream. I ran over, only to see Marvin being escorted out of our home by a group of monster hunters. Oh goodness, I have to save him. On days 33 to 35, I followed Marvin's screams until I was able to find a large monster hunter outpost. I snuck my way inside the entry room and saw a chest being forced into a cell. What gives?
All right, we're done here. Let's eat.
The monster hunters left, and I went over to investigate. I looked at the chest and knew that something felt different. Just then, it jumped. Ah! Oh my goodness, you're alive! Because of my scream, the monster hunters got alerted and charged back in.
Werewolf! Get him!
They rushed in and used their silver weapons against me. This hurt a lot, but with my increase in strength, I was definitely overpowering them. I took the last one down. I was able to free the living chest. Well, it's nice to meet you too, Chester. My name is Fozo. Wait, you saw them take a skeleton up to the main floor? Can you show me where they took him? My new chest friend led the way. Don't worry, Marvin. We are coming. On days 36 to 38, Chester brought me deeper inside of the Monster Hunter's outpost. We reached a main room upstairs, and I could see Marvin up ahead. Marvin!
These men, they're evil.
I walked forward to free him, but a large monster hunter dropped from above. Oh no.
So it's true. A monster, a beast, dares break into my home?
Now you know how it feels. The lead monster hunter charged in and began to attack. He had a large mace that dealt lots of damage to me. Every slash hurt a ton. I knew I wasn't only fighting for me, but now my new friends. One last moon throw, and the lead monster hunter was down. Take that. Upon his death was a note that was left on the floor. I picked it up, and it read,
Hey boss, we have information that one of the biggest beasts yet has one of those moon pieces, the Kraken.
So, the Kraken holds the next moon fragment? I wonder where that is. I went over to Marvin and let him out of his cage. Come on, buddy. It's time to come back home. On days 39 to 41, I brought both Marvin and Chester back to base.
Hey, Fozo, I really appreciate you saving me. You didn't have to, and It means a lot.
Of course, you are my friend, and friends will always be there for each other. What the? I looked over and saw one of the villagers afraid of Chester.
A nice little chest dog thing. Here, take this treat.
The villager nervously threw him down a carrot, and Chester was happy. All right, settle down, boy. I think it's time I make you a home too. I went over next to my house and built up a nice small chest home right next to mine. Right after that, I also upgraded my den a bit. I was getting bigger and knew that I was gonna need more room for myself. There you go. And from the looks of things, Chester liked his new place.
Bozo! Glad you made it back. Things are getting out of hand. The vampires, they've been causing more and more problems by the day.
I know, but thankfully, I found out where the next moon fragment is. It lies with the Kraken.
Well, if that's the case, then say goodbye. That monster is far too powerful.
We don't really have a choice, do we? The blacksmith agreed.
I could help bring you over to the Kraken's homeland, the Deadly Tides. But just know, this is a death wish.
On days 42 to 44, Ironbeard agreed to help me, but first tasked me with getting the necessary materials. For a special type of fire blaster, I followed his instructions and found a nearby cave. From there, I was able to find a special type of ore inside of it. I think this is the stuff. I mined it all up and headed back up towards a shoreline that we were supposed to meet back up at. As I arrived, I witnessed him putting the final touches on a cool ship to set sail in.
Hop aboard!
I did, and gave the blacksmith the necessary materials. From there, he was able to craft me a special gassed fire blaster.
Yep, this beast is weak to fire, so, you know, fire weapon.
Awesome! Let's set sail. We sailed far out across the waters until all of it around us started to turn red. Is this?
Yep, the Deadly Tides.
We kept sailing forward, and I heard loud noises coming from deep below the surface. That's just the ocean, right? We then looked ahead and saw the moon fragment sitting on a pillar in front of us. Just then, a rumbling began to surround the area, and with the next thing I knew, I was face to face with the giant Kraken. On days 45 to 47, the Kraken let out a loud screech and began to attack us. It had long and powerful tentacles that hurt a lot. On top of that, it would shoot out dangerous water blasts at me. I did my best to avoid its attacks and knew we had to take this thing down.
The fire blaster! Use it!
Right. I ran over and took it out. I shot out powerful fire blasts at the Kraken's tentacles, but each of my hits weren't doing enough damage.
The core, Fozo! Aim for the core!
Its core? I did as the blacksmith said and aimed right at its center. I shot the blast out and it was a direct hit. This caused the Kraken to surrender and submerge back down below the ocean. We did it. But sadly, I spoke too soon because out of nowhere, a vampire bat flew in and took the moon fragment. Hey, that's mine.
Not anymore. Vein-Stalker will be pleased with me.
On days 48 to 51, I had left Ironbeard behind while chasing after the vampire. I followed my scent until I reached a huge vampire hideout. Is this Vein-Stalker's home? There were bats everywhere. Thankfully, though, they were sleeping? Now is my chance. I snuck through, trying to find the vampire that stole the moon fragment.
Count Vein-Stalker, sir.
Oh no, there he was, in front of a large coffin. Just then, a huge rumbling took place, and the coffin shot open.
You dare disturb my slumber?
It's important, sir. I thought you would want this.
He handed the moon fragment over to Vein-Stalker. No!
Excellent work. As long as they do not have all of these, their curse shall never be broken.
I have to get that back.
Wait, we are not alone. Show yourself.
Oh no.
You, Fozo, is it? You have been a real pain to my mission.
I don't care. Us werewolves have done nothing wrong. What you're doing, it's not right.
You think I care? How naive. How pathetic.
Vein-Stalker charged in, and we both began to fight. I used everything I had on him, but with one magical attack, I felt so weak. I was already down to a couple of hearts.
Once your curse is finished, you will be a very strong vampire. Send him to the dungeons.
On days 52 to 56, I looked around at the cage I was inside of and knew there was no way I could break these blocks. No, I'm done for. Just then, I heard a very familiar sound. Is that bones rattling? I turned around just to see Marvin right outside of my cage.
Yeah, don't be too surprised. Come on.
He unlocked my cage and let me out. Why did you come back for me?
All of my life, Fozo, I've ran away from things just like some coward. Well, after all you did to save me, not anymore. It's time to face this together.
Thank you, buddy. You have no idea how much this means.
Of course. Now let's go. We need to run.
On days 57 to 61, Marvin and I were escaping Vein-Stalker's base as fast and carefully as we could. We noticed a few vampire bats taking guard, but thankfully, we were easily able to avoid them. The coast was almost clear until I saw it. The moon fragment.
Come on!
Knowing I couldn't leave without it, I made my decision quickly. I ran over and thankfully, I was able to pick it up. Yes! Because of this, I gained 5 more hearts. I let out a loud howoo, causing the moon to become fuller and gained a new leaping ability. Because of my howl though, it alerted the nearby vampires. Oh no. Run! I ran and caught up with Marvin. We tried our best to find the best way out, but sadly, every time we would reach an exit, it was blocked off. We both turned around, only to see a large group of bats waiting for us.
Listen, Fozo, you need to run.
What? We both do. I'm not just gonna leave you.
Even if I make it out of here, those vampires will follow us back all the way to our home. I'll keep them distracted. You need to escape.
Marvin, this doesn't need to happen.
All of my life, I've been a coward. Just let me have this, Fozo. Let me save you.
He then charged into all of the bats. Marvin, no! Knowing he couldn't distract them for long, I turned away and ran. It wasn't long until Marvin was gone. I'm sorry, buddy. I promise these guys won't get away with this. On days 62 to 65, I was able to make it back to base. Because of my loss, I made Marvin a nice memorial right outside of his home. You ended up being braver than any of us. You were a hero. Just then, I heard a loud howl. Wait, no. Howls? I turned, only to see a small group of werewolves there. Hey, what are you guys doing here?
We're glad to have found this place. We had no idea someone as brave as you was fighting for our kind.
All of us werewolves are truly grateful.
Of course. I'm glad you guys found this place too. Knowing they needed homes, I went out and got the necessary materials to make them all a small camp to live in. I hope you guys like it.
This will do just fine. This is a lot more protected than our previous outpost. We were pushed out of that place by mummies.
Whoa, mummies? Why so?
They claimed they had a moon fragment and thought us werewolves had more. They were extremely power hungry.
Sounds familiar. So, those mummies have the last moon fragments?
Yeah, they were wicked, strong, and dangerous.
Don't worry, guys. I'm gonna go out and get that moon fragment so I can restore the moon and save us werewolves. On days 66 to 69, I followed the werewolves' instructions until I came across a destroyed-looking hideout. This has to be it. I looked around, but sadly, there was no trace of mummies to be found. Great. I felt defeated until I spotted a trail of destruction leading outside of it. Maybe they went this way. I followed the trail until I met an opening in the plains. There, standing off in the distance, was 2 mummies.
Our king won't be happy
if we come back empty-handed.
Yeah, thanks for pointing out the obvious.
Their king? Who is that? I followed the mummies close behind. Since it was nighttime, I was blending into my surroundings pretty well.
Werewolf! This one is big! Run!
Wait! Before I could do anything, though, they ran away fast. Oh, come on! I then noticed a piece of their cloth fell onto the ground. Huh, maybe with my nose, I can find exactly where they live. On days 70 to 74, I used my nose and was roaming throughout the plains until I reached a desert. Oh, duh. Mummies always live here. I kept venturing throughout the sand until I arrived at a large, ancient desert tomb. I went inside, and just then, the entrance behind me closed off. I guess there's only one way to go.
Only the dead shall enter.
The ground then began to shake. What now? The ground below me gave out, and I fell all the way down into a small room. I looked throughout the room and saw lots of bones. Ugh. I'm guessing they also got trapped here. I have to find a way out. I walked forward into a hallway and noticed a room that led straight up. There were various platforms high up on the wall. It looks like I have to climb my way out. But how? Oh, wait, my new leap. Okay, let's test this bad boy out. I stepped back and ran forward and left. I did it again and again and again. Perfect. With one last leap, I found my way back up to the top of the room. On days 75 to 79, I entered the tomb room. On top of the ancient tomb is that? It is the last moon fragment.
You have faced the trials. Now you will face the consequences.
Consequences? Just then, a bunch of mummies were summoned inside. Oh no. The mummies all charged in and began to attack. In numbers, their hits were adding up, but I knew I couldn't just give up now. I used my werewolf slash and moon throw on every single one of them. Haha, that was too easy. Is that the best you can do? Rumbling then began to fill the room, causing the large tomb in front of me to burst open. Standing before me was now the large, ancient Mummy King. Uh-oh. I think I may have spoke too soon.
Who dares trespass my kingdom?
I have. You have taken something that belongs to us werewolves, the moon fragment. The Mummy King then charged at me, and with each hit, it dealt lots of damage. I tried my best to hit the undead king back, but to my surprise, it didn't do much at all. Ah, what gives? Our fight continued on. My attacks, though, were doing almost nothing to him. That is, when I jumped up and hit him directly in its exposed eye. From that one hit alone, I could tell the king was very hurt. So, that's his weak spot. Knowing this, I charged back in and made sure to do everything in my power to jump up and hit him again and again.
No!
I hit the king one last time and took it down for good. Ha! Take that! I then made my way over and picked up the final moon fragment. I let out my last howoo, which turned the moon back into a full moon. Because of this, I gained 10 hearts, and my curse was now completely gone. I did it! Just then, my vision started to become blurry until everything went white. On days 86 to 90, I looked around. Where am I? Just then, a werewolf landed right in front of me. Wait, brother?
That's right, Fozo.
And don't forget about me.
Marvin! Oh my goodness! I'm so happy to see you guys.
I'm happy to see you. Oh my, have you grown?
Yeah, I'm glad to see how strong you turned out to be.
I'm really trying, guys. Vein Stalker, he's pure evil and he needs to be stopped.
Well, if anyone anyone can stop him, I know it's you. I'm so proud of you. I always knew it would be you that revived our species.
Go out there, Fozo. Make us proud.
Just then, my vision was brought back to me, and I was back inside of the tomb room. I promise, guys, I will. On days 91 to 94, I returned back home to base.
Fozo, you've done it! The moon! Look, it's full again!
I know, just the way it should be. I couldn't have done it without your help, you know.
Ah, of course. Don't mention it.
I looked out and saw all of my fellow werewolves there. They were all cured.
You did it, Fozo!
I feel great. You've done it. You have saved our species.
Not yet. If Vein-Stalker is still out there, we will always be in danger. It's time I take him down for good. All of my werewolves agreed, and in unison, we all howled at the moon. Oh! Yep, we are stronger, all right. It's time, everyone. Let's fight back and take down those vampires for good. On days 95 to 99, my fellow werewolves and I rushed through the forest. If we wanted to take these guys down, it had to be tonight. We reached the clearing, and in front of us was Vein-Stalker's house, guarded by a ton of his vampires. All right, men, charge! We started to run, and the vampires all transformed into their bat selves. We clashed in battle. The other werewolves fought much stronger now that they had been cured. The vampires fought and fought, but at the end of the day, they were not strong anymore.
Fozo, Vein-Stalker!
I turned, only to see Vein-Stalker floating at his entrance, watching.
You handle him. We got this.
Just be careful. While they continued the fight outside, I ran inside of Vein-Stalker's base to finally face him. On day 100, I was inside of Vein-Stalker's main throne room. Vein-Stalker, this is over.
Over? You stupid mutt. This will never be over. Us vampires will prevail.
No! We charged in and both started to fight. With my brute strength, I was able to deal lots of damage. But sadly, Vein-Stalker's magic hurt me a lot. Ah!
Such a shame it is. Your brother died for you. Just to what? Fail?
Vein-Stalker, though, then shot me with a powerful attack, and I felt so weak. No! Just as Vein-Stalker was about to deal his finishing blow, the blacksmith jumped in and shot him.
Whoa! Say hello to my gun. I made it to specifically kill you, vampire.
Blacksmith, you're here. Let's do this together. With the two of us, it was clear that Vein-Stalker didn't stand a chance.
No! No!
And just like that, Vein-Stalker was down, now giving us werewolves a chance to live in peace. On day 1, I spawned in as a cursed dragon. I was somewhere inside of a large evil castle with a witch standing in front of me.
At last, I have created the cursed dragon. You will help me curse the entire world.
Curse the world?
Yes. Creatures like you and I have been shunned by Minecraft. They must pay for this.
The witch commanded me to fly off and use my powers to spread the curse. I took off and headed towards some houses. I was worried about a fight because I only had 3 hearts, but I knew I had to try. There was a group of players standing right in front of me.
A cursed skeleton dragon?
Ah! They took out their swords and started to charge me. Ah, please no! I suddenly used my dragon breath, and it converted all of them into ghoulish monsters. Whoa, that's awesome. I'm far more powerful than I look. Spreading this curse is gonna be a ton of fun. On day 2, I arrived at a large kingdom with my cursed mobs by my side. We entered and started to spread our curse to all the villagers.
The legend of the cursed dragon is true. The witch has returned.
I blasted them with my cursed breath and started infecting the other mobs with it as well. After cursing them, I suddenly gained 5 more hearts. It looked like the more people I cursed, the stronger I became. I decided to venture throughout the rest of the kingdom. I was able to find some cobblestone and wood, as well as some food. I started to command my newly acquired army to follow me. While I was flying off, I spotted a small rat running from the kingdom. Anyways, I have bigger things to curse than that little guy. As my army traveled away from the kingdom, we came across a large open area. This seems perfect for my base of operations. I dropped the material to some of the cursed creatures, and they got to work constructing me a base. Another group of creatures went out and defeated some sheep for wool. They then returned to me with a bed. Once my base was finished, I commanded my army to go into the world and curse more of it for me. This is incredible. I already have a base and an army? Man, I placed my bed down and began to feel tired. Ugh.
One day, son, you'll defend these lands just like I do. I just know it.
Dad? Ugh. Who was that? Are there more dragons out there? Man, I have to go and see the witch about this. On day 4, I returned to the witch's lair, and there were cages full of prisoners.
Bozo, just in time. I need you to curse these creatures from me now!
Of course. I immediately blasted all the cages with my breath and cursed them. After cursing the prisoners, the witch grew a little in size. The witch was happy with the progress that I've made and rewarded me with a set of bone tools. Tools? What am I gonna need this for? The witch told me to go off and retrieve an item for her, and in return, she will share more of her power with me. Sounds like a plan. On day 5, I was traveling toward the location the witch had given me. She mentioned a very specific black and red urn I would have to collect. Along my travels, I spotted my cursed army attacking a castle. It made me so proud to know that my army was still hard at work. Suddenly, a rat came rushing towards me from the castle. Wait a minute, was that the same rat? These guys seem to be all over the world. Hey, stop!
Now why would I do that, huh?
The rat told me that he just left one kingdom and now was forced out of this one by a bunch of undead ghouls.
Name's Buster. Everywhere I go, people just don't want me around. What did I ever do to anybody, man? I'm just trying to live a life.
I thought about using my breath to curse him, but I decided against it. He was an outcast, just like me and the witch, so I felt a connection with him. Listen, here's the coordinates to my base. You can stay there. Buster thanked me and set off toward my home. I continued on my journey and eventually came across a large structure. This must be the place that the witch told me about. On day 6, I entered the structure and there were some kind of strange looking villagers inside. They had guns and began to attack me. I blasted the creatures with my cursed breath, but it had no effect on them. Huh? Was this what the witch was talking about? I took out the bone sword the witch had given me and began to fight back against them.
We defeated the curse once. We will do it again.
Ah! Stop it! If I can't change you, then you must be destroyed. I started dodging the creatures' attacks and managed to defeat all of them. I then started to feel strange, and suddenly I grew into a full-size dragon, and I noticed that I had 20 hearts. But then I began to feel sick and
Hide, now!
Dad, what's going on?
You will never get away with this.
Dad! What are these memories I'm having? I don't have time for this right now. I need to get that item. I found the urn and picked it up. Awesome. I hope the witch is pleased with my accomplishment. I flew away from this place. I wonder who those people were and what they wanted. Man, that's for another day though. On day 7, I returned back to my base and saw Buster was fighting with one of the cursed mobs that was there.
Hey, buddy, I didn't take anything away from you, all right? Get away!
Whoa. Break it up, guys. I separated the two of them, and the cursed creature walked away. I decided since he was there, I needed to make a place for him to stay. We got to work constructing a house for him. Once we finished, I realized because of my size, I wasn't going to be able to fit in my own house now. The two of us continued to build my base to fit my new size. Afterwards, I knew Buster was going to need to eat something. I got to work collecting seeds and created a small farm for him. Buster then said,
"Here, Fozo, I lied. I took this from him."
He dropped me a cursed helmet. Hey, thanks. This is gonna come in handy, but maybe don't lie, all right? I realized that this guy wasn't that bad after all. I told him that I had to go see the witch and deliver her an item that I went out to get her.
Witch, you say? How do you know that you can trust her? Witches are people that you can't really trust that often.
No, I told him that we worked together and she brought me into this world. I had no reason to think otherwise. Buster just nodded his head, but I decided to ignore it. I headed off toward the witch. On day 8, I made it to one of the witch's new hideouts, and she was waiting for me. Whoa, she's definitely getting larger. She told me that now a fourth of the world has been cursed. We're that much closer to cursing the entire world.
It seems you've gotten bigger as well. Do you have the item I requested?
Yes, I do. I gave her the urn, and in return, she cast a spell and gave me a new ability. I wonder why why she wanted that urn and why it appeared as though those people were guarding it. I didn't have time to ask questions because the witch told me to test out my new ability. I jumped in the air, and when I landed, I sent out a cursed shockwave in all directions. Wow, this is so strong.
Yes. And soon you'll be the most powerful mob in the world.
I then asked the witch about the memories I thought I was acquiring. She told me that I need to do one more thing for her, but it's gonna be much more difficult.
I will tell you what you want to hear once you do this for me.
On days 9 to 10, I made my way into the jungle like the witch had instructed me to do. What was I looking for? I came to a clearing when I heard a loud roar behind me. I turned to see a large jungle beast emerge. The cat started to charge at me, and I stood my ground using my breath to curse it. It didn't seem to work, and the beast hit me really hard, taking away some of my heart. I started to fight at him close range to weaken him while trying to avoid his attacks. I jumped in the air and used my new shockwave ability to weaken him. I used my breath on the beast again, and yes, the beast transformed into a large black cursed beast. I told the beast to link up with the rest of my army. As he headed off, I realized that although I felt like the strongest monster, I was far from it. I was going to need to get some serious upgrades if I wanted to lead this army correctly and fast. On days 11 to 12, I went inside of a cave and started to look for iron to finish my armor set. I continued deeper inside and eventually found some iron. Once I collected it all, I smelted it and used it to create an iron set of pants and boots. This should be much stronger now. I made my way out of the cave and suddenly got ambushed by the strange villager hunters I'd seen earlier.
Kill the dragon for the resistance!
Do you really think you guys stand a chance against me now? I started to fight them with my tools until I realized, oh no, there's too many of them. I blasted the hunters with my cursed breath and was actually able to convert most of them to my army. One of the hunters managed to avoid the attacks and said,
"Stupid dragon, do you really think that bad breath of yours is helping the world?"
I don't care what you think. You have shunned people like me from this world for too long. This was the right thing, right? All these people deserve the curse for how they treated us. I need to find out who these people are and what exactly is going on. I flew toward the witch, wondering if what I did was right. I returned to the witch's hideout, still thinking about the events of the previous day. Who are those people?
Fozo, so good of you to return. Did you complete the task that I had given you?
Yes, I converted the beast, but there's still something far more troubling. The witch told me that she was proud, but wanted to know what bothered me. I told her about my encounter with these strange hunters and their accusations against us. I asked if cursing everyone was the right thing to do.
Of course it's right. Those monsters are responsible for so many of our people, including your parents.
My parents? The witch told me the resistance hunted down my parents and ended them for being so different. I was filled with so much rage. Where are they? They must be destroyed. The witch told me that their base was a castle not far from here.
Now go, Fozo. Destroy the resistance and avenge your parents.
I won't fail you. I flew out of the base, ready to destroy everything in my path. On days 15 to 16, I made it to the castle the witch mentioned. As I landed inside of it, the people started running around in a frenzy.
The curse is back! We're all doomed!
Who are these people? I needed to get some answers. Aren't you guys responsible for the death of the dragons? The citizens still ran from me, and I was frustrated. I managed to catch one of the citizens. You guys are the ones responsible for killing my people.
No! We had nothing to do with the disappearance of dragons!
He explained that dragons were sacred to their people. I wasn't sure if I believed him, but he told me that there was an ancient library that could confirm what he was saying. He also told me that there's other information about the curse. The curse? I remembered all the people I'd seen screaming about the curse returning.
Yes, don't you know how much your curse is destroying the world?
I flew off toward the library. One thing's for certain, I need to know the truth. I had been flying for a while when I spotted my army. I noticed that they had grown in size since the last time I saw it. Wow, you guys have been busy. Because of my cursed breath, more creatures have joined the witch's army. If I kept spreading the curse, our army would be unstoppable. One of the soldiers in the army approached me.
So, where should we go next?
If I took them to the library with me, it would be a hassle. I couldn't just let them go around and attack more people until I had my answers. I flew over to the army and issued a command. Cursed army, return to the witch and await for further orders. The army obeyed me and made their way back to the witch. Good. I flew off from the army and landed in front of the library. Now I can finally get some answers.
You there? What are you doing back here? And where is Fozo?
The dragon has ordered us to return here while he ventured elsewhere.
What are you up to, Fozo?
On days 19 to 20, I made my way throughout the library looking for answers. I kept looking around and found a book. It was about the witch. I read the book and found out that the witch was so curious about magic and spells and decided to experiment on all the villagers, some of which helped, while others seemed to have drastic results. She refused to stop her work, and as her ambition grew, the villagers had no choice but to banish her from the village. Before she left, the witch vowed to curse everyone who has wronged her. The book also told me that the witch continued her experiments and made enemies with other creatures, like dragons. Dragons? I tried to read more of the book, but it didn't have any more value. If she was enemies with the dragons, why would she create me? I knew something was off, but I wasn't sure who I could believe. I had to talk to Buster and see if he could help me. I flew off back towards my base. On days 21 to 23, I flew back, and Buster was there waiting for me. He had a strange look on his face. What is it? Do you have something to tell me?
Yeah, while you were gone, I know how much you liked your armor, so I gathered this from more of those boneheads over there.
Buster dropped me the rest of the cursed armor set. Thank you. I really appreciate what you've done for me. He could tell that I was down and asked me what was going on. I caught him up on the information I'd found at the library. So she was expelled from the village for her less than conventional practices. I don't know what to believe.
I tried to warn you, but you didn't want to listen to me, man.
He continued to say that rumors of the cursed witch had been heard all around the world before I even showed up.
It seems as though the rumors are now confirmed, man.
How could I have been deceived by this? I was tricked into spreading this witch's curse, and it was never about me, but rather her own selfish wants. I flew off to confront her. This ends now. On days 24 to 26, I returned to the witch's hideout. It appears as though the cursed army was not here. Where could they have gone? Witch, what in the world is this curse that you've been spreading all over the world? Isn't this curse the reason you got banished from that village?
How dare you look into my past? You had no right.
I have no right? You're the one that's been lying to me. This curse isn't helping anyone. You need to stop all of this right now.
Stop. I'm just getting started.
The witch blasted me and sent me flying through the air. I guess I have no choice but to take you down. I blasted her with my cursed breath, but it had no effect. The witch laughed and it hit me with a stronger spell. She's so strong.
You foolish dragon. No one will stop me from cursing this world. Not even you.
I needed to escape. I used the rest of my strength and flew away before she could deal any more damage to me. I couldn't fly anymore and crash landed into the ground. I felt so weak.
You will never win as long as my son exists.
I have a plan for that.
Dad!
Come, dragon. I have big plans for you.
On days 27 to 29, I woke up and realized that witch was responsible all along for the death of my family. I noticed that in my fight, I lost some of my hearts. I only have 10 now. I doomed the world by spreading this curse and strengthening all of her powers. What had I done? There were screams in the distance, and I rushed towards them. I came across a large village that was under attack from my cursed army. I commanded the army to stand down and stop attacking it. They looked at me and refused to listen. I noticed they were turning all of the villagers into cursed skeletons. I landed and tried to defend the villagers using my abilities. I realized not only had the witch taken away some of my hearts, but also I didn't have any of my cursed powers now. I had to fight the army using my weapons, but they were not very effective. I flew into the air and spotted skeleton villagers.
Why are you helping us?
I told them I'd seen the errors in my way and wanted to help him out. I asked the villager to follow me back to my base and he would be safe. The villager agreed and hopped on my back as we flew off. I returned to base with the villager and noticed that something looked different. There was a group of skeleton cows here. Buster approached me and said they had wandered by while we were gone, and he built them a place to stay. I thanked them for giving the creature shelter and told them that we had more work to do. We got to work building a place for the villager to stay in. He was grateful for me sheltering him at my base. Once we finished building, I started to talk to Buster about what could be done to fight back against the curse. He told me in the past there was a resistance that formed together to defeat it.
Last time I heard, they had some kind of like headquarters, but these were just rumors, dude. I don't know if they're true.
Without any other leads, this seemed like my best bet to set things straight. I headed off toward the old headquarters.
Rise from the ash and be born again, Zilla.
What is thy bidding?
There is a dragon I want you to kill.
On days 33 to 35, I was traveling toward the location of the old Resistance headquarters when I came to a thick forest. I began to travel on foot to make it easier to spot anything, but all of a sudden, I started to hear rustling in the trees nearby.
Time for you to be ended, dragon!
I was surrounded by members of the Resistance. I had seen these people before. Wait, stop! I told the Resistance members that I wanted to help. I was tricked by the witch and need to make things right. The Resistance members told me that they didn't believe me, but noticed I was far weaker. They decided to take me to their leader. They led me to a massive base with a large interior. Standing before me was the leader of the Resistance, who introduced himself as Marky. I told him I wanted to help and defeat the witch. She killed my family.
If what you're saying is true, I will give you a chance to prove yourself through actions.
He told me that when they had defeated the witch in the past, she was not nearly as powerful as I made her now. There has to be something that we can do. I refuse to believe that what I had done was irreversible.
There is something you can do for us. Go and retrieve our magical scroll.
Marquis explained to me where I could find the temple containing one of the most powerful pieces of magic that had ever been created. I thanked him for the opportunity and headed off. On days 36 to 38, as I made my way towards the temple, I heard something calling my name. What was that? I landed and spotted a giant, monstrous-looking creature.
So you're the dragon the witch has told me about.
Witch? She must have summoned him here just like me. The demon told me that he was on a mission to destroy me and continue to spread the curse. The monster immediately attacked and tried to bite me. I tried to fight back against him, but I dealt no damage. I realized my cursed tools seemed to have no effect on him. He attacked me again, and I noticed that I was taking even more damage as well. I was down to one heart and knew I wouldn't last any longer, so I had no choice but to fly off and escape.
Run away all you want. Soon, you will meet your demise.
Man, I need to get some new gear if I want to survive in this cursed world. I made it away from the creature and landed near a cave. I knew I was going to need to get rid of these cursed tools if I wanted to fight back. I used the tools to gather iron and created a set of iron tools. Afterwards, I created a chest plate and tried to equip it. To my surprise, I wasn't able to put it on. What's going on? I tried to take my cursed armor off, but it seemed to be bound to me. Great. I'm stuck with this stuff now. I couldn't think about it. I had a mission to complete. I made my way to the ancient temple Marky had told me about. Once I entered, I was entrapped in a magical cage.
The curse shall never be able to enter.
Ouch! What was that? I realized I was starting to get hurt. What was this place? The voice spoke again.
Prove your worth.
I was starting to rapidly lose hearts. I didn't have much time. I spoke to the voice, and I told them I now know how wrong I was to spread the witch's curse. As I finished speaking, the cage vanished and turned around to see a pedestal with a strange item on top of it. I collected it, and yes, it was exactly what I was looking for. I headed off from the temple. On days 42 to 44, I returned to base and found Buster. I showed him the scroll and told him about the powers it possessed.
Wait, you can save curses now? Prove it!
The rat and I went to the cow pens, and I used it on the skeletal cows. Immediately, the cows turned back to normal. It works. It really works. We walked around the base, and we both discussed the possibility that this scroll can restore everyone that's been cursed.
Why don't we try using it on one of those villages, huh?
That's a great idea. We visited the cursed villager, and I tried to use the scroll on him. Sadly, it didn't cure him, and I felt bummed out about it. The rat told me not to worry because there's still hope thanks to this cloth. I knew he was right, but I was still upset upset that I couldn't save everyone right now. The villager approached me and said,
I really am missing my family.
I felt his pain. I was missing the family the witch had taken away from me too. I told him to come with me and I would look for them with him. We flew off together. On days 45 to 47, the villager and I flew across the land and eventually came across another village. He told me that despite the curse, he hoped his family still lived here. We searched the village and were able to find them. The villager ran towards his family and I can tell that they missed each other. As I watched the family, I really started to grow sad thinking about my own. How many families had I separated by spreading this curse? I knew what I had to do. I needed to remove this curse from the world to protect families like theirs. I told the family to return to my base. It was safer there. After I watched them leave, I flew over to meet with Marky to show him how I'd proven myself and obtained the scroll. I showed him the scroll and he was impressed to see that I was able to beat the protectors. He was starting to come around.
I don't know much about dragons, but I do know someone who does.
I knew we had to work faster though, so I asked him if he knew any way I could cure myself of the curse and restore more people. Marky dropped me a map and told me hopefully I could find the answers I'm looking for there. I thanked him for helping me.
No, thank you, Fozo. We can't do this without you.
I flew off following the map. While I heard screams of villagers. I noticed that there was a huge army of cursed soldiers being led by the witch. They were attacking a city. I told her she was wrong and I had to find a way to stop her now.
You do know that scroll isn't going to do anything.
How did she know about the scroll? She told me that she already knew about my plans and that they were futile.
It's too late, Bozo. Soon this world will be completely cursed.
If you think I'm gonna let you have your way, then you've got another thing. Ah! The witch immediately shot me with the spell. She was getting stronger, and I had to leave now.
You won't get away with this. I already have. The witch will be pleased.
On days 51 to 53, I arrived at the location that the map had directed me to. It was a massive temple. What did Marky want me to find here? I headed inside, but the place looked totally abandoned. Is anyone here?
Another dragon?
I turned around to see a large dragon standing behind me. Who are you?
My name is Alden. I feared I was the last of our kind. Long ago, the witch hunted us down. Dragons hold the balance of this world, and she feared we would be able to stop her curse.
I told them how she tricked me, but I was working for the resistance and wanted to help. I already had the scroll, but it wasn't effective. I needed more. Alden told me that some of the ancient dragons that lived before this time had left scales from themselves around the world.
Maybe with those, you can restore your breath and reverse the curse that is on you.
Reverse my own curse? I want nothing more than to bring everyone back to the way it was. I thanked him and left. I started my journey to find the first dragon scale and noticed that more of the curse was spreading throughout the land. I don't know if I'll be able to stop this before it takes over the world, but I must have hope. Everyone is counting on me. I continued flying and saw that a village was being attacked by the witch's cursed army. I wish I never created this. I flew down and protected the villagers from being cursed. It was clear my iron sword was much more effective on them than my cursed weapon was. Once I was able to defeat them, all of the villagers gathered and looked at me. Oh no, are they going to attack? The villagers approached me and thanked me for saving them. I was shocked, but appreciated them.
Thank you, you once evil but now good dragon.
I told them to stay safe and flew off. You know, it felt good to not be seen as a monster. I finally arrived at the desert temple and began my search for the scale. On days 57 to 59, I entered the desert temple and began to look for anything that could resemble a dragon scale. There were strange spirits haunting the temple. Are these part of the witch's army? What are they doing here? The spirits rushed at me and began to attack. I tried to calm them, but they wouldn't listen. I had no choice but to fight them off. They didn't pack too much of a punch, but in numbers, they were strong. Eventually, I was able to defeat all of them and continue to search the temple. temple. I moved through it and came across a room with what looked like a dragon scale in the center. I quickly grabbed it, and the scale combined with my scroll. It felt like a surge of power, and wow, I have 15 hearts. I noticed my boots had changed as well. They were no longer cursed. I tried my dragon breath. Yes, I had a new one. This one was green, and it felt more full of life. Maybe with this, I can reverse some more of the curse. On days 60 to 62, I returned to the base and noticed the villager and his family were here. I tested out my new breath and was able to lift the curse from them, turning them back into regular villagers.
Thank you so much!
I told them that they can return to their village, but they refused. They wanted to stay with me. I decided to use some of the material I had to expand the villager's house and give his family enough space. I was still in the building mood, so I spent some time making upgrades to my house, as well as the farm. We were definitely going to need the extra food with them around.
Hey, Fozo, what's with all the commotion, huh?
I told them that I invited the villagers to come join us here if they wanted to stay away from the curse. The rat didn't seem too happy about that. I asked him what was wrong. He told me that with more people coming to base, he felt like I would forget about him. I told him not to ever think like that, because I would never forget him. He was my best friend in this cursed world.
Yeah. Thanks, Fozo. I really appreciate that.
Suddenly, a member of the resistance arrived at my base.
Fozo, we need your help.
He then died, and I knew they were in trouble. I rushed back to the resistance headquarters. On days 63 to 65, I made it to Marky's castle, and the place was completely destroyed. I flew around, and all I can see was destruction and fire. I finally spotted Marky and flew down to him. What happened?
The witch. She found our location and destroyed our entire operation.
He told me that he was surprised because the witch wasn't this powerful before. This isn't good. If this keeps up, the witch will be unstoppable.
You're our only hope, Fozo. We must work faster before it is too late.
I told them to send any survivors to my base. If this location was compromised, they would be safer there. Marky told me where I could possibly find the next dragon scale. He knew one of the ancient dragons made her home at an ice temple. I thanked Marky and told him to be careful. I flew away from the castle and headed for the temple. I flew up the mountains and felt something familiar about this place. What was it? I landed and found a dragon's nest, but it was destroyed. I walked around the nest and I instinctively knew what this place was. Was this
your home?
I turned around and the witch was right behind me. She told me that she knew that I'd find my way here eventually. What are you doing here? Come to destroy more families? Well, not today, because I'm stopping you.
Oh, Fozo, nothing will have any effect on what has been done, not even dragon magic.
No, I don't believe you.
No matter what you do, the curse will not be undone. You have already lost and you don't even know.
I immediately attacked the witch with my new dragon breath, but she dodged my attack. I won't let you destroy anyone else's home like mine. You took everything from me. The witch laughed and began to fight back against me. I can tell her power had increased since we fought last. I knew if I continued fighting, all of what we were working for could be lost. I realized that the best thing I could do was flee. I flew out and made my way towards the temple. Next time, you won't be so lucky, witch. On days 69 to 71, I arrived at the ice temple Marky had told me about. I made my way inside and began to look for the dragon scale. It didn't take long before I'd found it. Yes! I rushed up to collect it, and it combined with the other and the scroll. I felt a surge of power, and my cursed chest plate was replaced with a new one. I also noticed that I had 20 hearts. This seemed too easy. Like something else had to be waiting for me.
Fozo, I should have expected you were here.
He rushed at me, and we started a fight. I threw everything I had at him using my breath of life.
Oh, so strong.
I was close to taking him down for good, but then left the temple. What was that? Where is he going with it? I tried to rush after him, but he was gone. I thought I finally had him. No matter. I headed off to test my new upgrades. Now that I had 2 of the scales, I wanted to test my breath on some of the cursed mobs. I noticed a village that was completely cursed. The village was full of skeleton villagers. I used my breath on them, but nothing happened. Come on, this has to work. I have to save everyone this time. I gathered up all the strength and used my breath on the entire village. The villagers and the village started to turn back to normal. The curse was gone. The villagers surrounded me and thanked me.
Thank you, Scary Dragon. You're not a bad guy. Guys, he's not a bad guy.
It felt great to be appreciated for my good deeds. I needed to tell Buster the good news, so I flew back towards my base.
Go! Destroy Fozo!
Yes, as you wish.
On days 75 to 77, I returned to my base and noticed that the resistance had arrived. Buster told me while I was gone, they showed up. They immediately started to construct houses for themselves, as well as help the villagers with their homes.
You know, you're kind of a hero, Fozo. Word of you has started to spread around the world, and everyone is motivated everywhere.
I asked him what he meant, and he told me that more and more villagers were starting to believe the curse could be lifted. That's excellent news. But how do you feel?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I'm still mad at them for how they treated me. Always making me feel like an outcast and all.
Hey, look around at everyone here. Things are gonna change. How much a few simple acts of hospitality brought joy to all these people? We just gotta keep it up.
Yeah, you might be right, Fozo, but...
He was interrupted by Marky running over to us.
The witch's creation is terrorizing a nearby city. You have to save those people.
I told Buster our conversation could wait and rushed off to save them. On days 78 to 80, I confronted the T-Rex demon in the city. Your reign of terror ends now, Zilla.
You fool! I'm nothing more than a pawn in all of this.
The monster told me that soon the witch will reach her final form, and there's nothing I could do to stop her. Yeah, we'll see about that. Our fight began, and Zilla charged at me to go in for a bite. I immediately dodged his attack and knocked him back. I was much stronger than I was before, so I knew that I could beat him, but it just won't be that easy. Zilla tried to curse me, and I lost 5 of my hearts. I blew my purifying breath and greatly injured him.
You will never win, Fozo. You've already lost.
I shot my breath on him again and finally defeated the T-Rex demon. Good. Now I needed to go and find the witch.
Now this world will finally be cursed!
On days 81 to 85, I arrived at the witch's lair and began to search around for her. Where could she possibly be? As I looked around the base, I started to search through her chest, and to my surprise, she had a dragon scale. As I grabbed the scale, it combined with the others, and suddenly, I gained another 5 hearts, and my pants converted too. How did she get this?
It was your father's. I took it from him when I defeated him.
You're a monster. I will never let you get away with any of this. And now that I have all my scales, I'm going to stop you.
You're too late. I have everything I need to reach my final form. Nothing you do now even matters.
She began to fight against me. I had everything I needed and knew there was no way I would stand a chance against her now. I rushed away from her and headed somewhere that I hoped she wouldn't. I flew away from the witch and landed on the mountains where I used to live. I started to wonder. I had all the scales. Why am I not a regular dragon again? I tried to use my breath on myself, but it had no effect. How come I just can't break my own curse? Had all of this just been a waste of time? Instead of defeating the witch, I let her become so powerful to the point where now I can't stop her. I heard a strange noise and saw a flash of light. Suddenly, my father was standing before me.
Your heart, son. That is what makes a dragon what we are.
My father told me that the witch had taken my heart to create the curse that was on me. And if I wanted to return, I'll need a new heart. Wait, Dad, how will I be able to bring you back as well, though? I need your help to defeat her.
There is no way to bring us back, son. We are already gone, but you can still save the world.
My father told me to head back to my base. Someone was waiting for me. Before I could say any more, he vanished. Wait, no, Dad! Oh, man. I hoped that he knew what he was talking about. I headed off towards my base. On days 91 and 94, I returned and saw everyone gathered around. I looked and saw Alden had arrived at my base. Alden, I thought you were too weak to travel.
I could sense the world needed me to do so.
He continued to say that although I cannot bring my family back, I can use his heart.
With my heart, you will be able to save the world. You just need to believe in yourself.
The old dragon said he had lived in fear for too long and wanted to make things right. Alden passed away and dropped his heart in front of me. No, I was stunned, but I knew he believed it was right. I collected the heart and I felt so strong and powerful. In a flash of light, my curse was lifted and I returned to a normal dragon. I noticed that I had 30 hearts and all my cursed armor had been converted. I was cured. Marky and Buster approached me, and we began to formulate a plan to fight back against the witch. If I was able to restore more of the world, it might weaken her enough and give me a fighting chance to defeat her.
Good luck, Fozo.
Be careful, buddy. Come back alive, all right?
I will, Buster. I will. On days 95 to 99, I left the base and began to travel from village to village, lifting the curse from each area. I made sure I went far and wide to reach as many villages as I could. As I left, villagers cheered for me, calling me their savior. It felt great to lift the curse and restore things the way they should be. But all of a sudden, as I was looking for more villages, I spotted the witch's army moving, and it was far larger than I'd ever remembered. I began to fly over the army and fight back against them. As I used my breath, I noticed that many of them were changing back. The cured people began to fight back with me, and I told them to let me restore everyone. With one large breath, I was able to convert everyone back to normal. One of the resistance members approached me and told me that I needed to end the witch now before she was able to create another cursed army. You're right. I'm running out of time before the witch uses her abilities to curse everyone. I need to stop her now. It was day 100 as I arrived at the witch's base. I spotted her and noticed that she seemed weaker than when I last saw her. It's over. You have lost. I have already defeated your army, and I'm gonna defeat you too, if I have to.
I will never surrender, Fozo. I created you, and I will take you out now if I must. This world will be my cursed dream.
Never! She shot a large spell at me, and I nearly dodged it before rushing at her with my own attacks. As I hit her with my dragon breath, I noticed that she was growing smaller and smaller. This must be the secret to defeating her.
This cannot be! You cannot win!
I'm fighting for more than just my own selfish purposes, witch. But you wouldn't know what that's like. I kept attacking her, and could tell that she was growing more and more frustrated.
Fozo, now is your chance. She's weaker than she has been.
I could hear my dad's voice guiding me through the battle and saw her growing smaller once again. I told her to give up because it was no use anymore.
I will curse you!
So I used my dragon breath one more time on her and took her down for good. The curse had been lifted across the world, and now it was time for a new beginning.